I was walking along and 3 people were laying in the street, he said. I didn't see any fire, just smoke. He said the 3 men he saw must have been blown over the fence which surrounds the park, since there was no other debris in the street. I repeat, blown over the fence.
We are looking at taped footage now of some of the injuries there at Centennial Olympic Park. Back to the tower in question. This tower apparently used for lighting and sound near the main concert stage at the park. Again, the explosion occurring during a concert. The tower was still standing after the blast. We have seen pictures of this tower tonight, but debris littering the base of the structure. Another witness by the name of Chris Bender said that he heard what sounded like a cannon. Quote, I saw a bunch of smoke come up and saw particles in my eyes, end of quote. Police and other security officers swarmed through the streets trying to clear the area, forcing people away from the park. This park, again, sits right at the hub of the Olympic Games, inside what they are calling the Olympic Ring. 3 major sports arenas are adjacent to this park. Sports competition had ended when the explosion had occurred, but again, tens of thousands of people had filtered to this park. There is a picture of the tower in question. This park, at the time, packed with people. Many of them reportedly ran through the streets in tears. As Brian Brown just reported, he spoke with one eyewitness who believed that he and his wife had suffered shrapnel injuries to their legs.
And even though, excuse me, Hannah, even though Associated Press is reporting that the explosion took place at 1:15, our official sources from the police and fire department are indicating to us that it was more like 1:20 a.m. So clock it at about 50 minutes ago right now, and we've been showing you a mixture of live and tape images of the activity taking place in Centennial Olympic Park. There's a good look at the actual location of Centennial Olympic Park, and you can see that it's situated directly between the business area of downtown, which is the collection of buildings marked by gray images on the right side of the white circle there, and then over here to the left side of the white circle are the World Congress Center, which is the location of our International Broadcast Center, where we're sitting right now. You can see the Georgia Dome. There are other facilities such as the Omni, the CNN building, right here in the region to the left and just below the white circle on your screen, which is the area of Centennial Olympic Park where this explosion has taken place.
The explosion, many eyewitnesses focus on the tower. Here's another picture, a clear picture of what we call the Olympic Ring. You can see the Athletes Village at the top of the ring, right there at the center, the Centennial Olympic Park, the centerpiece of these games, a source of great pride for the organizers, a source of gathering for tens of thousands of people throughout these Olympic Games. Back to video there at Centennial Olympic Park. The scene has been described as chaos. Again, emergency vehicles, ambulances trying their best to get in and out of the area. The area has been blocked off from vehicular traffic throughout much of these games. So again, they're trying to remove barriers. There are many ambulances on the scene, as Bob Serkin reported, but somewhat of a gridlock problem.
Bob Serkin, one of our most experienced news journalists, who is on the scene there, and you heard him reporting on activities earlier. Obviously, he'll be endeavoring to get closer to the action as a triage is set up, and paramedics and medical officials begin to determine how to deal with the reportedly 150 to 200 people who have been injured in the blast in Centennial Olympic Park. Brian Brown reporting on the telephone from a site which you would know the location of that, Hannah.
Yes, he was actually quite close to Centennial Olympic Park. Brian mentioned ambulances coming out. One of our latest reports here says that at least 25 ambulances have already left the scene, more ambulances pulling in. Much of this attention has been focused on the tower, which was in operation during the concert. However, at least one witness says the explosion appeared to come from a garbage can. He says, I looked up, there was fire and smoke coming up. It blew them over. Some people got hit, some people didn't get hit. People were dancing, watching the concert, having a good time, and it went up, she said. I saw flames.
Of all the details we've been given, perhaps the most disturbing is that one report that the explosion may have come from a garbage can, because certainly that suggests that this was not an electrical fire or an electrical explosion or anything related to the communication system involved in the concert that was taking place there at Centennial Olympic Park, but rather than that there must have been an explosive device of some sort inside the garbage can.
And we should emphasize the tower, which has been in question, which many people felt the explosion originated at or near the tower used for lighting and sound near the main concert stage, still standing, but debris littering the base of the structure. We don't know how close the alleged trash can was to the tower, but certainly we're getting a few different reports from witnesses there, everyone agreeing that the scene is incredibly chaotic and that this was a very large blast. We have no immediate reports confirmed of any fatalities. We do know that this explosion rocked neighboring buildings. It could be heard throughout the downtown area several blocks away.
We are queuing up tape of an interview which has apparently been conducted with an eyewitness by our local affiliate WXIA-TV, Channel 11 here in Atlanta. And as soon as that tape is available, we're going to show it to you. And right now we're going to show you an interview with a cameraman who was there on the scene at Centennial Olympic Park, apparently at the time the explosion took place or shortly after. Let's see what he has to say.
We're about 10 or 20 people down. We're now getting word from the Atlanta Fire Department, a spokesman there, that as many as 150 to 200 people were hurt. And right in front of us here is the gentleman who shot all of that tape, Mark Field.
Mark Field, come here,
you're
Mark.
helping us get on the air. Why don't you come over here? You were standing right there. Can you tell us what you saw initially?
Colleen, about 5 minutes before the explosion, security guard came over and told us,
Colleen Williams.
we want you guys to move over here. There's a suspicious package. They're going to ask you to move. And the police were trying not to panic the crowd. They stopped traffic from walking through that area.
How far away were you when it went off?
I'm going to tell you, I was 30 to 50 feet. I felt the concussion from the explosion. One of my partners, I don't want to give his name out just in case his family's watching, was hurt. I don't know how seriously hurt he is. I felt the concussion. He was right next to me. I don't know if he blocked part of the concussion. I felt some debris hit. It was not that loud of a, it was a big bang. It was at the bottom corner of the mixed tower there, which is the lighting tower. If you remember,
That's one
It's
of the
near
towers.
the AT&T facility for the athletes to go in after their competition. We heard on the radio coming over here, and this is local radio, that one of the reporters said that he saw a chunk or a hole out of the base of one of those towers at about 16 feet. That it took part of the building out.
well, all I can tell you.
All right. There it is, Chuck. You're right.
Paul, all I can tell you is I witnessed the explosion because we should actually have a shot of the package. I rolled on earlier.
You were shooting out there.
I was shooting out there. I was getting ready to go live with Fernell and Fritz for our 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock show. And I actually witnessed the explosion. It was a large flash bang. And I felt it. And it did not seem like that large of a bomb. However, there was a lot of shrapnel. People were down. I saw some people bleeding, saw some people in shock.
When you talk about people down, the number we're getting is anywhere from 150 to 200 hurt. Tell us initially what you saw. How bad were the injuries that you saw as best you can?
All I could see is I saw a few people bleeding, not badly. They were moving around. My first concern was for my partner who was laying on the ground. He was not responding to me.
Okay, Mark,
All right,
you'll
there
look
it
over
is
here.
right
You'll
there.
see the video you shot.
It's going to be coming up in a second, Mark. And I think we should stress, too, that we do not know. These are unconfirmed reports of how
people who are going to be crowding into such a small area. And in the event of something of this order, he said it could produce tremendous casualties. And I know that there has been
McBride is on tape.
Okay.
We're looking now once again at a live. And let's go back to Bob Sirkin for more on what he's been able to gather since arriving on the scene. Bob Sirkin?
Jim?
Yes, Bob.
Yes, Jim, I just spoke with Gary McConnell, and he is the chief of the state's security command post. He tells me that right now there are 15 confirmed injuries and 4 unconfirmed fatalities. And he says that the investigation is centering on a possible pipe bomb, but that is not confirmed. He says that they've got as many emergency medical people here as they can muster right now, and they're trying to sift through that area in the center of the park where this explosion occurred.
Okay, Bob, if you can stand by with us for 1 second, we're going to join now an NBC employee who is on the scene, Andrew McBride. Andrew?
Yes.
This is Hannah Storm.
Hannah, I'm here at the Inforum looking down on the accident scene. The tower looks like from the corner where the explosion took place and blew upward. It seems that most of the either fatalities or major injuries were people that were inside the tower and were blown out towards the street. The area right now is blocked off with crime tape. It's been cleared. Everything has been powered down, and all of the security and police are searching everywhere with flashlights. A tremendous amount of rescue vehicles up and down the street. They did a very quickly job of clearing everyone out of the area as soon as possible. And but it's hard to say, maybe 5 to 10 people that were down immediately in the street. You see a number of people walking around with injuries, just kind of in a daze. The blast was kind of very intense, but not large enough to seem as a large bomb. Seems like a smaller bomb that went off in the area. That's all I can say right now. It looks, it's kind of dark in the area, but you do see a lot of the security.
Andrew?
Yes.
We have to be very careful. We have no confirmed reports at this point that a bomb exploded at Centennial Olympic Park, and we want to make that very clear.
Okay.
That we do know that there was a very powerful explosion. We do not know that it was a bomb.
Correct. Yes. The explosion does seem to have come from the corner from looking down at the tower. Looks to have come from the bottom corner of the tower towards the AT&T Global Village. And,
all right. Andrew, I'll tell you what, perhaps we'll get more from you later, and we really appreciate your input. At this moment, Hannah and I are going to turn this over to Tom Brokaw and the forces of NBC News, who have arrived to cover this developing situation in Centennial Olympic Park. So, Tom Brokaw, all yours.
Thank you, Jim and Hannah. Well, based on what we know so far, Bob Serkin, who was just on the scene talking with the state officials, said they believe that there were at least 15 injured and perhaps as many as 4 fatalities. They emphasize as perhaps. We did hear as well from a cameraman shortly before that who said that he was rolling on a suspicious package at the time of the explosion. The police were quietly trying to clear people away. Bob Serkin also reporting that maybe it was, in fact, a pipe bomb. Let's go back to Bob Serkin now, who's at the site. Bob works for NBC. Bob, what else have you been able to learn from state officials?
Well, right now I don't have a very good vantage point because security people moved me away from the fringe of the park as they moved several hundred people away for safety reasons. So I'm not able to see right now. But the state command post, just to reiterate, Gary McConnell, who runs that operation, said at least 15 injured and 4 unconfirmed fatalities.
And did he think that it was a pipe bomb? We did have that cameraman earlier from KNBC in Los Angeles talking about a suspicious package of some kind of pipe bomb. Obviously, it's a very crude instrument, but it can be effective in short range.
Well, there's no confirmation of that, but when I asked McConnell if they were investigating some sort of electrical explosion, he said, well, right now it appears that it may be some sort of pipe bomb. It appears, but that's unconfirmed.
All right, are you able to, we're looking at some footage that is running raw and unedited now. There are Atlanta policemen who are on the ground, a number of other people who were injured as well. Are you able to see whether any of the ambulances have left the area yet, or the nature of the injury of the people who are being loaded into them?
I don't have a very good vantage point here, Jim. I'm inside a building and I can't see out. I'm going to have to go out and look at the scene again.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Serkin will let you do that. This is Tom Brokaw from NBC News now. We just want to repeat to you what has happened here in Centennial Park, which is kind of in the center of all the traffic patterns for this now 7-day-old Olympic celebration in downtown Atlanta. At about 1:15 this morning, there was an explosion of some kind. It happened during a concert. There have been a number of injuries. State authorities now telling Bob Serkin perhaps as many as 15, and there could be some fatalities as well. As you might expect, the area has been very rapidly cleared. Ambulances are now surrounding the park. Not many of them, so far as I know, have been able to leave so far. That's the place where a lot of people have been gathering to just partake in the spirit of the Olympic celebration, if you will.